When I was born, my mother and father submitted a birth certificate registration application form, a piece of paper. In the formulation of any company, anything within this legal world, there is always a piece of paper. The fictional person known as John James Harris, my given name, was created by this piece of paper. My name was given to me and it wasn't chosen by me, evidenced by my birth certificate. It's not a bad name, so I'm not really that about it, but when I submit an application form, when you submit something, I actually bend to someone else's will. I actually agree to that by doing it. When I register, I'm handing over legal ownership of whatever I'm registering to whoever I'm registering it to, the body that I register it to. When I apply, it actually means I'm begging. And it is assumed I know what I'm begging for. And I know exactly what I'm willing to give up by begging. And most of the time, I volunteered these applications. I wasn't made to do it. Do you know the history of the birth certificate? Does anybody know? Well, the GRO, which is what this document is registered to, if you actually lift the birth certificate up and look at it in the light, you'll see GRO. But as long as you were born after 1857, the GRO was formed in 1856 and the birth certificates actually started in 1857. This is why they all say this GRO, General Register Office. When you get your birth certificate and look at it, you'll notice it's a certified copy. It's not the original copy. Because it can't be. You could never have the original. Because if you destroyed the original, so does your person is destroyed. So you only get a certified copy. So, the given name of the person being created is not always capitalised. Now there's this big world about capitalisation. I don't know if you know the legal world, a lot of what they do is capitalisation. If you look at most of the corporations, they're always in capitals. Always, right? Well, there's a big thing about capitalisation. But the given name of the person's father, mother, is not always capitalised, but there has to be. That person has to be there. Okay, but remember that person is a piece of paper. So it can't physically walk in the office and pick up a pen and sign something. So there has to be a human being to represent it. The qualification that you've got, or I've got, which I did to my kids, is that I'm the father. And that gives me the ability to inform on my own child. I actually inform on my own child. I don't know I'm doing it, but I actually inform. The declaration at the bottom. A declaration resides in common law. A declaration, it will actually say a declaration, but it won't be a signature. It will actually be the name wrote. And the declaration is to prove there was a human being present to represent this. True. So this declaration proves there was a human being there. Because without that human being there, how could this piece of paper toddle in the office and declare there is a baby being born and I need to register it because you need to create a person? Because if you don't register, then the state has no hold over that human being. Because the only hold they've got over you is because of this piece of paper. But this document, this doctor, okay, he's saving people's lives by alternative medicine and actually curing people of cancer. And he was struck off for doing it because he's saving people's lives and the farmers couldn't make their coin. Okay? He sent me a bundle of paperwork. And there is 1,500 sheets of paper in this bundle. And he's got 10 of them, and that's one case. 15,000 sheets of paper for one case of him curing someone of cancer. But the title they're taking away from him was given to him by the medical council, because when you register something, you hand over whatever you're registering to whoever you're registering it to. But does that stop him being a doctor that he's been for 30 years? This document is what you've done this to your kids. Seriously, you have done this to your kids. You don't know you've done it. That's the point. You've been duped. It's deception. And what's deception? It's fraud.
Yeah, doesn't it make previous contract's null and void.
That's a good point, and that's a very good point. I would like to see a proper court of law, not a corporate court, if we could ever find one. General Registry Office, corporation. Okay? That's what you registered it to, corporation. To this day, it's still met. Do you know the history of registration? Do you know what it was about? It was about a ship coming into dock. Do you know that? Well, ship coming into dock, when the ship docked, do you know why it's called a dock in a court of law? But basically what happened, when the ship come into the dock, the ship's captain would get off and actually register everything on that ship with the harbour master, including chattels, slaves, everything. They became the possession of the harbour master. Do you know the word liberty? Do you know where liberty comes from? Because people talk to me that they're losing their liberty. Liberty is a grant. Liberty was given to a sailor to pass port. When a ship docked, he was allowed to pass port under certain conditions. What happens when you go to an airport? What do you have to produce? You just don't relate it. A bank. A bank directs the current, directs the currency. What do? You deposit on the bank. The current deposits things on the bank. It withdraws from the bank. It's so bloody obvious, staring you in the face, but you just don't know it exists. This is their world. As I have seen, the most abusive way that this has been done is the registration of births. There's a common law, okay, which is meant to be the common law for everyone, okay? This is what common law of the land. Admiralty law is the land of the sea. So everything it's to do with is the sea. So if you look at everything in the legal world, it's basically what happens when you leave a police station, you're bailed out? Passport. There's so many. How many have we come up with? Dock in the court, yeah. Cash flow. It's every single word relates to Admiralty law. And if you want,
it's just the law of money.
It's the law of money. Okay, that's all it is, because that's what basically this is all about. The simple show of my children no longer belong to me, and I will get into this, is that I have to have my children mandatory vaccinated. I did, not no more. But it's mandatory education. It's not mandatory to send your kids to school, but it is mandatory to educate them. And I can't take my kids on holiday when I want to. And I do know, and I have evidence of parents being fined £100 for taking their kids out on intern time and taking them on holiday. They've received £100 fines from schools who are corporations, trading names. I know that because it happened to a friend of ours, actually at my son's school. That really does happen. If you don't manage their property properly, the social services get involved. And you can see all the different services are there. If this is not real, what's it doing on this website? What's it doing where you can check up whether these are doing good business? Consider this. I want you to consider this, right? Could the government actually take my car away and crush it lawfully if I actually owned it?
Yes.
No. If I actually owned it, it's my property. I own that vehicle. Could they take it away and crush it? Why couldn't they? Because it's a crime. It's my property. To take it from me is a crime without just cause. Okay? When I registered my car, I was duped into handing over legal ownership of it. Have you seen the advert on television where the car crashes up in front of the two? Yeah? Seen that? What does it say? Right at the end, we have a legal right to do this. It doesn't say we've got a lawful right. The fact of this is when I registered it, I also stated I would agree by their rules, road tax, fuel duty tax, and an MOT requirement. Okay, I agreed to it because this is what happens when you register things. You're actually handing over ownership of it. But now you know this, you can have some fun. Department of Transport is traded as the DVLA. So it's another corporation. When I register something, I always remember this now because it's absolutely true. I give up ownership of it, possession of it. Okay, I get a certificate of title which is worth nothing. It's just like your V5, it's worth nothing. And if you notice on your V5, it actually says registered keeper. And we recently asked an insurance company because they said, are you the legal owner of the vehicle? And we said, no, the DVLA own my vehicle. And the lady on the telephone was quite bemused. But you don't, I shouldn't own my own children, but in retrospect, you know, this is what this process does. So why are there so many fixed penalty notices? Right? If I put my bin out in the wrong place, or I put it out on the wrong day, or it's too full, this man comes along, slaps a ticket on it. Right? But maybe it's giving people jobs. I don't know, there's something going on. Parking in a place, a corporation deems I can't. Okay? Or speed cameras. Not completing a sawn. The list is endless. It is endless now. These fixed penalty notices, they're incredible. But what are the sawn? A statutory off-road notice, yeah, which is an offer, actually. Yeah. What are these notices in the real world? And what we found out is that what they are is actually, they're offers. And they're being issued by these corporations, and they'll never stop dreaming up the reasons to do it. They're penalised, I'm penalised by way of forfeit, and a forfeit is generally punishment for a breach of contract. An adhesion contract is a type of contract that is legally binding agreement. Basically, it's made by one party who've got all the bargaining power, then attached to you legally. In legalese, a notice is not a bill, it's not a demand, a notice is nothing more than an offer. You're being made an offer. If you get a notice to go to court, a notice of a summons, which I recently got, you're getting an offer of an invitation to go to a corporate place of business. That's what you're being offered. You just don't know. You don't know. And it actually doesn't apply to you, it only applies to a piece of paper. An offer to discuss a contract, the offer is trying to force upon the person. As I say it, this is a simple tool of revenue collection, and that's all it basically is. The true reason why these fixed penalty notices are forced upon the person is to simply maintain an illusion. And that illusion is a control over my life, my fortune, my freedom, because I fear their ability to take off of me something that's valuable. And it's this product here. This thing here. And it says on it, which I love, I promise to pay the bearer on demand the sum of £20. What I'm going to ask you is £20 of what? So, if they're asking you for this, okay, and if they are asking you for this, then ask them what tangible commodity is behind it. Because I'd like to see them stand in a court of law and explain what tangible commodity is behind that piece of paper. I'd love to. I'd give me eye teeth to see it because it'd be hilarious. Are they going to stand there and actually say it's valuable because we say it is? Because that's the truth of the matter. Another thing as well, and I want you to do this. I'd love you to do it. I'm not going to ask you, but you know when you get your money in future, write that on it. But do it, seriously. Do that, write that on it and send it back out. See what happens, it'll be hilarious. Sooner or later, someone's got to swap one, they've got to go to the Bank of England. Oh, I know what it is now. You can't ask, because my friend over there got arrested for asking. She did. She got kicked out of the Bank of England and the doors were shut behind her because she asked what was tangible behind this. And there is nothing. Okay? There isn't. No one can give me an answer.